What's going on, everybody? Your boy DJ City Manos, and here is a question I received on my channel. Is regarding the lights, and they ask, why do the wedges go to a different DMX channel? Not by much, but it goes down on a channel. For example, it goes down from 115 to 114 on its own. And he asked me if I have any suggestions. I never had that happen to me before, so I'm not sure exactly what's happening. I think I replied back to him. Let's see. I think I replied. So here's what I suggest. So I'm gonna turn on my lights. So let's say it says my channel is 0015, right? Or A015. It looks like 00. But that's actually an A015. So this is what I suggest. Even though you have the channel selected, just hit enter. That's it. That's all you do. Just hit enter. Here's another thing I suggest. This little bad boy keep turning red. If this little bad boy keep turning red, it's supposed to be green. So also look at that. If it's green, you're good. If it keep on turning red, here's another thing I suggest. Wiggle it. Turn it upside down and shake it. If you hear some rattling in there, that's your antenna. Your antenna's loose. Okay? Your antenna's loose. And I had one light that was doing that. So I took the top off, took the screws off, and I pulled this out. And I saw the antenna just dangling in there. So what I did with the antenna, right here, there's a circuit board here. There's these plugs here. And in this corner, there's another plugs here. But there's a circuit board. I think it is right here, a circuit board. So what I did, I wedged the antenna between the two circuit boards, so it could hold it in place. Because I opened up a different light and I saw what they did to that light. Because I opened up two lights. I opened up one that was kind of rattling, and I opened up another light that wasn't rattling. And the one that wasn't rattling, and I see what happened. They stuck the antenna between the two boards. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to shake it, turn it upside down, and do this. If you hear it going, then I want you to open it up, take this little cover off. It's going to come out with the LEDs and all that stuff. It's going to be some wires. Make sure you don't mess things up. And just look at the antenna. I'm hoping it's not your antenna, that your antenna is loose. If your antenna is loose, you might have to resolder it. Resolder that sucker. Or just wedge it on the side and see if that will fix it. But wedging it on the side, it fixed mine. That's what I suggest. And that's about it. That's all I could think of. But the channel movement, I'm not sure what's happening there. You have a ghost. Also, here's another thing I want you to do. If you have a Donner, somebody called me up and he had a problem with his lights that they were just shutting off. It's supposed to be green all the time. When you turn it on, it's supposed to be green. If it's green, you're good. If it's red, it's losing signal. So if you have a Donner, this is what you do with the Donner. It's going to be hard to see. Hold on. Let's turn it at an angle so you can see. It's too bright. It's too bright that it looked like a 0. This is what I want you to do. Over here, it's going to say LED. This one, the IRCL, that's the remote control. Not that one, but I want the 2.5 or 2.4. So the 2.4 is this wireless right here. That's what it is, 2.4. That's what that is. So I want you to go to your 2.4, hit either, I think it's menu or up and down. Hold on, let's hit it, enter. So it's gonna say on. So you go to 2.4, enter, and it's going to say on. Turn that off. See, now it says off. And then hit enter. And now it's not using this. It's not using this anymore. See the way it's just not blinking no more? So now hook up a Donner to it and see if you still have interference. If you do have interference, or dropping or whatever, losing connection, then I'm not sure what it is. But if it works, then it is your antenna. Something's happening with your antenna. Your antenna probably has a loose connection. So that's what I recommend. And if you also still have if you bought them recent, just call up Rockville and tell them that you got a defected light. I'm not sure how long is the warranty, but just call them up and just tell them, yo, I have a defective light. The wireless keep on losing connection. I had these already for almost 2 years, probably 3 years, and they're still working pretty good. I haven't had any issues. And then again, I kind of take care of these bad boys. They do get a beating by the dust, but besides that, there's one of them that actually messed up the button now. This one, see, that button doesn't click. This one here just like that. Like I think the spring broke. It doesn't click no more. But I think it's still good though. So let me turn this back on again. And you go to a menu. And we're gonna keep on looking for it where it says 2.4. There it is, 2.4. Hit enter. Turn it on. Hit enter. And go to menu. I'm gonna stop where it says A015. Hit enter. And you guys already know about the difference between the A and the D, right? The A is, I believe, is 10 channels. The D is 6 channels. So also look at that. I have mine on A because it's using the 10 channels. They're using the strobe, the sound, and all that stuff. The other one just using the colors, So also look at that. Yeah, now it's blinking because it's looking for the signal now. This is on. So hopefully that helps. That's what I did with the other guy. He called me up and he had trouble with his lights and he hooked up a Donner. And I seen it. It was working. He actually video chat me. Did a video call, and we got his to work. So that's the only thing I could suggest. There's nothing else I could think of. But the channels, the 115 to 14, I don't know what's going on. I have no clue. But all right, this is your boy DJ City Manos. And I don't know if I talked about the top part. It says also what the on the interface, what the buttons on the top do. I'm not sure if I talked about that, but leave that alone. I'm not sure what that does neither. Just leave those buttons alone. I think I pushed it a couple times. I don't think nothing happens, but I don't think nothing happened. But I suggest just leave that alone. And that's it. That's the only thing I could think of. Hopefully, you have better luck, or you can find the problem with your lights. But just bring them home, plug those lights up in your house, let them run. Here's what I did notice. Check it out. This is the weird part. Anytime I'm on let's say a parking lot, there's nothing around. Sometimes my lights act silly. Sometimes if I'm on a building, like a concrete building, my lights act silly. Sometimes, for sure, when there's like a bunch of internet interference, phones, everything, people could just walk right in front of my lights and they lose connections. That's why it's weird. It's like the signal bouncing off the concrete and just all over the place is not hitting the lights. That's the way I visualize it. I visualize it like an invisible beam going to the lights, but if there's like a concrete just bouncing off the concrete, and if it's an open space, it's just like, shoo, like in the distance. That's the way I visualize it. And they can't find the light. And I don't know. It's just like, I'm always like wondering why the heck you can't just find my light is right in front of it. There's nothing in the way. There's no interference, no people, nothing. I'm by myself. Why my lights acting silly? It's just weird. Sometimes I wonder about that stuff, but they work. Everything works. Like I did the gig this weekend and my lights were working. And if you look at that video from this weekend, that was far. I put those lights like way out there by the house, and that was like at least 100 feet. That was pretty far. And the lights, I only seen one droppage on one of the lights. You can tell when they drop because it's not synchronized with the rest of the lights. there's a lag, and you get and when I'm looking at them, I say, oh, I see one that's dropping. And what I'm gonna start doing now, next time I see a droppage, I'm gonna tape it. I'm gonna mark it. So when I get home, I'm gonna test it. So if I see next time I see a droppage, I'm gonna mark them, and I'm gonna examine them. I'm gonna say, well, why they dropped? What was the reason? They say these lights supposed to reach pretty far, and if they're not reaching that far and they're dropping the signal, then that's why I put the numbers in the bottom. I don't know if this one has one number. Yeah, this one doesn't have a number. But I put numbers on the bottom because I did a test where I took them in the yard, and like when they lose connection, I put a 1 on the bottom of the light wherever they lose connection, and then I keep walking further and further and further. Then I mark another one when they lose connection. So this one I know which one. The one that has a 1 has a low reach, a low distance, and I keep those closer to me. And the ones that are like number 10, 9, I know those suckers reach far, and I could put them far out there, like put them out there. I also do that kind of stuff. I think I made a video on that. Let me see if I can find it. I did a video like that. So I know I put I put titles on my videos that doesn't make sense, and the reason why, because I don't like attention. I hate attention, and I don't want to bring too much people on my channels because I don't want people talking smack, because your boy gets all violent. But I did make a video like that, and I think what I called it, I don't know what I called it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. But I be putting some weird, goofy names. Like right here, I put a goofy name and say streaming with brain freeze. What the heck that means? See, I don't want no attention, so I got to give it a goofy name. AB grid. I'm Juice. Checking them beats. A foe. Let me see if I can find it. Off the grid. I'm off the grid, or I'm off the hinge. That's what I said. I don't know, but there's a video that I made when I was talking about the distance. And I'm explaining how to check the distance. I brought a piece of paper out. And I brought a piece of paper out, and I was talking about the distance. See these batteries right here? What I like about the batteries, this one I'm not talking about the batteries, but here I drew a paper, and I drew about here, right here I drew my T-bar, and I could put my lights anywhere. That's what I actually did at this party. The batteries help out a lot, and I was set up in the corner. And if you look at that video from this weekend, there was like a plant turn, but they didn't have no plants. I guess they just bought the house. It looked like they just bought the house, but there's no plants there. It looked like I seen the hoses like they're about to put plants. But since there was nothing but dirt, I asked that homeowner if I could set up my lights there, my speakers, and he said, sure. And I told him it's cool because I want to put the speakers there because the levitate is off the ground. It's above, off the ground, the speakers. So the sound's going to go a little bit high above the people that sit in front, And the lights is going to be like right on the center of the dance floor. And those batteries helped out a lot. Those batteries, I could put the lights anywhere with this remote control, this remote DMX stuff. I could just wireless DMX. I could just place lights anywhere. I just need power. So the battery right there, I use that yellow battery. That helped out a lot. This red one is for my speaker. I'm thinking about buying another red one for the other speaker. So the way it's going to work is going to be speaker, and another one for speaker. This lights, and this is going to be my system. Everything. So I'm thinking about buying another one for my speaker. This little one right here is 300 watts. And that was enough for 5 hours. I could have went 6 hours. I could win 6 hours with that. This bad boy, I could have went 6 hours with that. And this bad boy on my lights could have went 6 hours with that. So that night I tested out, blasting. I had the music blasting. So if you guys would have been there, you could see, dang, that thing is loud. So I did pushed it, and I was seeing how much these could handle, and they handled it. I was surprised. They handled it for 5 hours. Yes, the last hour I had to turn it down a little. But besides that, it was handling it. I'm sure I could do 6 hours. I could do easily 6 hours with that. So now that I have an idea, when people call me up and say, yo, I need a DJ, it's going to be outdoors or whatever. It's going to be in the park. It's going to be here. It's going to be there. I can always say, yo, I have a battery. Now I don't have to worry about parks, about renting generators or nothing like that. And so it's not that bad. So all that right here, total 2,000 watts, because this is 300 watts, and this is 500 watts, and this is 1,200 watts. So all that is 2,000 watts to power my system. I could probably do it with this, but no lights. And I'll be pushing like maybe, I'm thinking 5 hours. But with this help, it gave me 6 hours. So next time I get a small gig, like a 4-hour gig, I might just take this one by itself. I already took it at one gig where I took my, it was the St. Patty's Day, and I just took this one battery. And that's all I took was that one. I took this to power my fan, because it was but it wasn't that hot. So I took this to power my fan. I took this to just power because there were no lights, so I didn't take this one right here. I left this one home. So I took these two, and it wasn't that hot, so I didn't even power my fan. But this one here powered my equipment and the 2 speakers. And that party was about 4 hours. So, yeah, this is your boy DJ City Manos. I'm just rambling on. But these lights right here, go ahead and wiggle it, shake it. If you got some rattling in there, you got some antennas loose, take the screws on top off, pull this out, be careful. Wedge the antenna on the side, or pull out the antenna first and see if there's any loose connection. You might have to resolder it. You can also use a glue gun and put a dab on the antenna, stick it on the side so it won't get loose again. That's the only thing I can recommend. Also, go ahead and try that. If you have a donor, go ahead and do that test. Hook up a donor to it. Turn off the wireless. Where's the wireless at? Turn this off, and I already showed you how to do that. And test that out. Test it out. Put your lights and test them out, and see what happens. But the other guy that called me, he tested his out, and he said it was working. I haven't found out how was his party, if they worked or not. But that's the only thing. Also, do the distance test if you can. I'm gonna try to find that video, but I did the distance test, and I was explaining what I did. So that's what I basically did. I just got a piece of paper. I went out there, I walked out with this light. I walked into it, it lost connection. So wherever it lost connection, I put the light down and I mark it. Oh, hold on, I won't even mark it yet. I'll do all the lights first, because I got 10 of these. And I walk into a loose connection, it started losing connection. Then I put it down. I get another light, walk the distance. So if I have a light that's here, and another light's out there, another light that's over there, I'll put 1, 2, 3, 4, and I put it in the bottom of the light. And this way I know the 1s and the 2s have to be close to me, because they only have a 50 feet range, and the other ones have maybe a 60 range. The other one has a 70 feet range, and the other one has a 200 feet range. And the 200 feet range, that's the ones I put out way out there, So I just look at the bottom of my light, so, oh, this is number 2. It has to be closer to me, So try that. So this is your boy DJ City Manos, and I am out. Peace.